becomes Sky Crab. This kind of depends. I'm not sure if Djincitto mulligans for Daidoji Iron Warrior here, but if he does, it's kind of awkward because they basically need to have the honor and the cancel ready on the way of the crab, which is likely, but certainly not for certain in the opening hand. Especially if they don't want to commit into a 5-draw because of the Daidoji Iron Warrior. So I don't know how the matchup will generally go here. But there is a bit of an awkward flip for Djincitto. Diplomat, favorable ground, proving ground with no character with a duel. And aside from maybe like I think 2 duelist trainings, there's not much conflict dueling going on. There's return defense of course, but and Suka flips Honor's Reward, which makes defending Tsuma a whole lot easier. And then we see a buyout if characters not needed. And then a Yasuki with 1 fate. So I fully kind of expected just a 5 and 5 bit here. Sorry, that already happened. And Djincitto has initiative. Coach's Greeting gains a fate, basically kills the Crane initiative. I do think they might have like 1 or 2 conflict characters in the Covert Monks, but this should generally just stop the Crane attack. Okay, but the Tattooed Wanderer is going to come down. Puts a fate on it as well. You might actually pull out the Challenger and stay in with the Wanderer. And pull out with Favorable Ground. And then ready the Challenger again. So we see Panzer and no immediate reaction from Crab. After that, I assume we're going to see a pull-in. Probably of the other Silent Skirmisher. We might see an attempted assassination. Or Suka might wait for that and go political with the Yasuki first, with maybe a card games. Playing Way of the Crab now. This is a bit annoying because if you give up the diplomat and you don't have an honor, and you're counting on voice of honoring the assassination, then sacrificing the diplomat, which is basically the only viable character here, is it's painful. Potential is to cancel the Way of the Crab and eat the assassination. Yeah, okay, and now the assassination comes out, so now you lose both characters if you had a counter. So yeah, this is very... This is very well played by Suka. Of course, there's always the... there's always the argument how badly you can play with assassination and Way of the Crab, but I do think Djincitto had a cancel in hand and he should have used it there on the Way of the Crab. Because now he's going to eat the Earth Ring and a Void Ring. Or potentially Fire. Okay, there's also the assassination on the Crane side, but they're taking two unopposed conflicts. One is going to break Tsuma on Void or Fire. Chooses Fire. Sometimes you'll have to decide between Void and Fire very often, and then the wrong or the less apply. The thinking that I see sometimes is, well, I'm not gonna go Void because I don't remove the character this turn. Well, that's true. It's not certain that you're going to be able to go Void next turn. Now Suka is first player, so the chance that is always possible. Now we are talking about a 1/1 character that can still pull in something, so it has some worth. But don't, for those listening who might need some tips, don't tell yourself, oh, I don't need to go Void because I'm not removing the character and I'll go Void next turn, because that's... You really have to think about, okay, what am I going to face next turn? Am I going to win Void? In this scenario, Suka said, okay, I'm fine with dealing with a 1/1 challenger, but that challenger can easily go to a 3/3 if needed. And also the decision of, oh, I'll be able to go Void next turn and I'll go Fire or some other ring now, is also impacted by information that's not visible to you the next flop. So always be wary of that. It's a decent rebuild flop here for Crane. Witch Hunter will most likely be cancelled out by Takamori completely. So yeah, that's a wasted turn of a Witch Hunter. No move in. But the argument is there's just Tadaka, and Tadaka removes the Takamori effect, so that's what we'll probably see happen this turn. Suka with the card advantage deciding to put on some slight honor pressure. With considering that there probably is a Tadaka backup, that's maybe not a bad idea. Challenger defense, we will probably see a dojo activation here just to honor it back up. They are committing a lot to the challenge here with one fate. Okay, the student sacrifices himself in the name of anatomical studies, effectively stopping the challenger from honoring up. Pardon me. No conflict character. Interesting. And Djincitto decides to go into fertile fields with water. Okay, found a witch hunter that, I mean, Tadaka. Oh, the one I've copied with one with the C. Okay, but nope, that's going to be cancelled. There is a deployed garrison that could be used here. But no. EBS is going to prevent a ready. But yeah, no Tadaka in hand, it seems. But Suka prevented enough damage from happening. The 4 attack challenger would have broken something else, so the EBS came in handy there. Quite some fate on the board after that 2 conflict turn, so Suka keeping Kisara, but not sure if that's the play. Kageyu is there on one of the provinces. So indeed we'll see the cunning magistrate be bought, the witch hunter be denied an attack or defense again. That is something which Crab doesn't deal with very well. As I think there's favorable grounds, but generally not very much move in. So completely locking out a character like this is very efficient. Suka might need to dig here for Tadaka. Definitely doesn't want to be locked out for another turn. Djincitto buying challenger with 0 fate is interesting. But not quite as amazing attacks here. Courteous Greeting bows out something fairly big. Weight of Duty does the same. And let me think, what's the other province that they run? Fire is on the box. And the other F is generally not defendable. What is it again? Oh yeah, the Eternal Watch. Eternal Watch you can mitigate, but both players decide to keep on 1 bit, so paying for Eternal Watch starts to hurt at this point. But it is the most attackable province. And Djincitto seems to agree with me. Oh, Crab is running Vessel Fleet. But wait, there's still the... I always forget Courteous Greeting province works on the same element. Okay. This is still the same problem. Like the magistrate can be bowed. They can be replaced by Kageyu. And we're still not breaking, but Gunbai to work around Kisada, that's very handy. We can negotiate a duel before we flip over, removing one fate with the vessel field. Honoring. Next turn the Kigei will come in and then we'll be breaking. Not through the Heated Guardian activation, however. But we know there is a Gunbai, which I think Kageu can duel with. Or does the opponent choose? Yeah, okay. So no, we're not gonna win a duel against Kisada. Okay, new name does it for the moment. Deployed Garrison comes in as the attacker, but might actually leave play because there's not really a sacrifice outlet currently. Dutiful Assistant does make up the difference again. Watch Commander is gonna cancel that, but Let Go is a potential option in Crane's hand, although hand is obviously very low. But it's a 3-off, so there it is. Definitely chance at the skill point for Crab here to not break, but it is sometimes limited, the political skill Crab can muster. Does draw the one of Kigeu. And will break. So, very good conflict for Djincitto. I assume they're going to remove Kisada, but there might be a case for the Witch Hunter, but I think Suka has shown that there is no Talaka, so playing around that seems not needed. This matchup must be single-handedly won by Takamori. It's pretty incredible. But at least the Witch Hunter can ready Kisada. Now there is an additional body to use. Yeah, Earthring, of course, most value, but it is a bit of a desperation play. I think if Suka didn't have Talaka in hand, they should have bid like 2 or 3 instead. Being locked out with your Witch Hunter here is killing you. Pursuit of Justice being attacked, probably no moving. Biggest military skill to muster is 7, so would still be losing. So probably not worth the defense. Avenger on a discarded. Crab nicely in card advantage. We'll probably see Fire. Fire also net you 1 honor here over the 2 from air and gains you the fate. So I'd go Fire. Okay, Engineer comes, Iron Mine in. Think there's 1 other deployed garrison. So that is a potential 3 military. If you don't want Djincitto to be on box, that's what you have to do, but it's very inefficient. Okay, but it will be done with the bonsai. There's an iron mine in the back row now. Kisada will stay around. At least that's something that Suka is going for them. If the honors reward stays around, that's a +3 that is available on the Crab Stronghold since it's Kuni Wasteland. And of course the 3rd iron mine on the Broken Province, because L5R can't ever cut you any slack when you play against Crab. And now Fire and Hole is here as well, so it might go downhill from here. We'll see. Pilgrimage, but didn't bring a Quartermaster with him, so can't wait of duty offensively. There's not really... Dojo Duel would... Oh, no, yeah, there's... Of course, there's still the Gumbai, so... And now J Tetsubo. That's Yeah, that'll have to be let go. Second one. Chance of Djincitto having a third let go with that hand is near zero. So the 3-fade investment on the veteran will be gone. And we can fire in Kageu or we can fire in Takamori. Kageu is 4 skill. So probably will be on Kageu. But no, the pilgrimage is going to stop that. I don't think Crab is going to punch through here. But there's Assassinate the Whisperer. So Wave of the Crab comes in and kills Takamori, who has done, I think, near 90% of his job, so... There's a final which reduces your Kageu to a 3-3 from a 7-7. But at least the weight of duty probably won't be able to fire. Which quartermaster? Oh, Takamori, yeah. I implemented this cool thing where you can hover over the name in chat, and then it'll green highlight the card in question. But yeah, it was that quartermaster that got sacrificed. But like here it says veteran of Toshirambo was bought, and it will highlight that veteran. Same with cards in your row. For example, your card games honored Doji Kageu, you know it's Kageu. See, and this is what I don't really like about deployed garrison. As long as you sacrifice it, you can use it like as many a time as you want in the same conflict. Attempt to bow Kage, but there's a defend your honor. But we aren't breaking and Djincitto is passing, so... I think at the most we'll see, at the least we'll just see an attack from Djincitto. Okay, now both deployed guns are gone at least. Alright, then Witch Hunter can still sacrifice themselves. Djincitto forgetting Kageu. It happens. I think you go and smash Honor's Reward with Kisada. Or maybe Pilgrimage to be sure. Pass! Boo, take the risk, Suka. Are you really playing around a Banzai or a new name or a fine katana? Yeah. Damn, son, get baited by elegance and grace. But it's not going to... Oh no, is it actually enough? Miscounting? No. By one. Ooh, fine katana. But there is a disarm. And we'll see Suka go to 0 and Djincitto back to 1. Was a way of the crab. Wasn't going to be used this turn, so... And we go with Djincitto on offense, both players low on honor, so... Takama is not going to do much, so we'll see the Master Painter being bought. Another Final, Vanguard Warrior to keep the Gisela around for longer. And yeah, this is really hard. You as Crane to bonk up against Jade Tetsubo, you really need your attachment removal. Luckily there is a T-house this turn, but will it be enough? I think Djincitto can bid one, and I think political water is viable. Okay, we find Witch Hunter. That's a bit more problematic. That might be more than enough tempo. Players are thinking eventually one bid. I just don't think Crane has the power here to punch through. Because the likelihood that there's going to be a duel to honor up Kageu is very unlikely. Would be return the offense or a duelist training. And now return the offense is basically turned off because there's not a good enough target for it. Hmm. Yeah, and after the J-Tetsubo activation, the board next round will just be way too weak with a bid one. And that'll be the end of Crane. I'm just waiting, guys. But yeah, we're on pretty high levels here. People trying to remain in the invitational, so people are going to take their time. Guardian is luckily the judges are here. So a bit of a mess there with people forgetting what is Takamori'd. But yeah, attacking Pilgrimage with not enough power is probably... Well, it doesn't really matter. Although a military crane couldn't defend if good enough, probably. But now we'll see the return defense, so... Good read from yours truly. But there is still the Kisala in a way. Yeah, just I don't think there are any plays. The best you can do here is represent Wave the Crane and attack with Takamori on Earth. Oh, water, sorry. But you have favor, so you don't need to represent Wave the Crane. But one will do the job unless Suka wants to give up the Kisara attack. Which honestly I wish that he didn't. And that he'll just break. Okay, Suka playing it correct, I think. Loses the watch commander. Although, wait, he... How much power is this? 10 against 7. Nah, that's not breaking either. Wait, did he use it already? Oh, he used it to cancel Kisala. Okay, never mind it. Best play is just dishonor the painter, yeah. And unless we see a 5-drop, I think that's GG. Oh, we do see the 5 drop. Hotaru coming in clutch. It has to be the buy this time. Then there is no other way. So yeah, people, MVP of the match, Asahina Takamori. Literally pulled back Crane from a pretty bad start. But the military attack still has some teeth to it. Although water doesn't do much in this instance. But Crab might have to so that they don't die after the political attack. Crane actually has some cards now. And there is a fan on top. So that's... yeah, that probably ensures like a Hotaru break. Or will they be forced to defend? At least Crab only has one card, 2 cards, taking into account the Yasuki. I would honestly defend with the Painter. You have favorable ground. That, of course, depends on whatever the fuck is in there. In their hand. Of course, defending... No, the Painter has 3 skill plus the favor. That would be 4. That's a non-break. And you can then keep the favorable ground flexible. He went airing, which is probably the worst ring they could have gone. So I definitely didn't see the need for the Hotaru defense here. I would have just taken the loss. But it wouldn't be a break. Do they represent Banzai? Potentially. It's a very low chance after the Yasuki draw. But this was kind of your round where you had the opportunity to take it all and you played it safe, which I always hate. It's fine to play to not lose, but I don't think this was the moment anymore. This was where you shift into the play to win. Let me try and get the deck list up so that I can maybe give a more informed opinion on whether they should have defended or not. Let's take our Krabby Boy here. What do they have? What do they represent in terms of military power? They represent 1 skill with Tanaka. They represent Apprentice Engineer. They represent Pathfinder's Blade. They represent a fine katana. They represent. Do they still represent Watch Commander? Technically represent Watch Commander, so. It was arguably there, but then I would still have just defended with a Masterpiece Painter and moved in if it was necessary. Now you lost any offense. At least you have the favor of military, so you have that. And depending on this watering, you played into another important card, which is Become Sky. And if I have to hazard a guess, I think the one of the cards in hand definitely is Become Sky, but you know. Okay, one of them was Tadaka, so you probably had to move in if you didn't have a card in your hand to pump military. If it's card games, like Djincitto has nothing. Yeah. Aside maybe their own card games. But they only run 2. They used 1. It's possible. The problem was also the attachment on the Masterpiece Painter, which being removed by the Disciple of Shinsei meant that you needed to defend with Hotaru in a military conflict, but yeah. And there we see 3 out of 4 cards, and that are not cards that were usable in any way. So yeah, that does explain it a bit, but okay, we don't have the political pump, so on to the next round. And then, of course, I knew that. I was kind of making fun about using it more than once. Okay, political water with Hotaru is might actually have to be weight of duty. So water needs to be forced, but I don't know. It is God's greeting, weight of duty. So the really weird play was not putting a fate on Kisada here. I don't know why we didn't do that. I mean, Djincitto has about 5 minutes. So they do need to make some decisions, eh? Mm, Kaizen and Painter. I'm actually forgetting that Djincitto has to defend into courteous greeting on their stronghold province, which is also Samurai is going to be negated by Kisada. But you wasted all your time, so. Yeah. This was something I was a bit afraid of. Okay, that's between them, but you know. What he just should have done is defended with Kisada, Tadaka, and Shinsei. Yeah, but now there's also the Brash Samurai. No. You just. if you go with the disciple and tell the guy into pledge, you bow their best military defender, but you're still 5 against 5. Most likely. Oh, okay, but there's common cause. Never mind. That's the game. So yeah, Suka won on time and on break, so we're fine. Yeah, it's like I noticed early in the game. Yeah, it was a pretty easy read that he had the way of the crane. So, sorry, the voice of honor, and potentially something to honor. Yeah, that was pretty dumb. But well played, both. It's of course very hard knowing that you are up against Way of the Crab assassination from turn 1. But yeah, not like if you didn't want to use the voice on the Way of the Crab, not honoring the Doji Challenger, yeah, that's a pretty big one. All right, Djincitto had a good effort, but out of the Invitational, Suka moves on. And they will play Keikori, who made a successful underdog run up till now.